Episode 74 of Multiplaying is brought to you by the 2011 Little League World Series champions. Enjoy all that pussy while it lasts.
Everybody online, looking good.
A companion podcast to the collaborative blog and gaming community that's playing as life allows. This is Multiplaying.
Well, let's start the insanity.
We have clearance, Clarence. Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Hello?
Great heavens! What kind of radio show is this?
Welcome back after a long sabbatical to Multiplaying, everybody. First off, apologies to one of the guys that's not here tonight, to Dean. He was going to be on the show last week, and I am honestly still bummed about this. I had a little bit of a power outage / internet outage. I was out of internet for a week, and in the middle of it, we were supposed to have a podcast, and Dean was actually at PAX last week, and we were going to have him call into the show, and he wasn't able to do it because I had no internet to do the show. So, apologies to Dean. He still looks like he still had a great time. So, maybe next year we'll be able to string that one together without any problems. But back to the show. Tonight we have Rare.
Hello.
Jason.
Hello.
Oh wait, I'm skipping it. Rare, what are you drinking?
I have a Sunkist in front of me, actually. Hitting
Rock
it back
on.
classic.
Jason, what are you drinking?
Drinking a Michelob.
Yeah?
Like I just came off the golf course.
Nice.
Still got those checkered pants on?
Yeah.
Rocking.
Got your polo shirt?
Mm-hmm.
John, what are you drinking?
Riesling.
All right, and I've got the usual. And let's see, what have we been playing, guys? Let's start off with John. What's up?
Well, I barely scratched the surface of Deus Ex, or Deus Ex.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't legitimately talk about it, although I do love the environment and stuff of what it's gotten me so far, and how shit happens in the beginning of levels, even if you go back at the end of it, after you've gone back, and it's like, you'll go back and you'll see like investigators checking shit out that you've wreaked havoc with or stuff like that. You know, most games, you know, you like say Mass Effect.
Mm-hmm.
You go back to the beginning of a level after not quite finishing it, and it's just empty. It's like an empty corridor, which, you know, is pretty typical. But Deus Ex
It happens in real life. I go to the mall, I do some shit, and I come back later, and there's nobody at that mall.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, Deus Ex is just kind of like, I've done that, and where I'm like, I'll go all the way back to the beginning. I was like, holy shit, there's shit still going on. Like, I never would have known about it if I didn't just decide to randomly come back and check to see if I missed something.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's just kind of cool stuff like that. But mostly,
how many hours have you put into it so far?
Only a handful, really. I really have only just gotten my augments and, started messing with them. Just looking at them and seeing what they do, so.
Gotcha. I mean, you might actually be a little bit further, or maybe not too far behind me. I probably only put 3-4 hours into it.
Yeah, I'm only a handful of hours.
Gotcha.
Like maybe 3, probably. Yeah.
Okay.
But mainly I've been playing League of Legends, which is normal. So.
Right.
But I did find a new
awesome.
champion. I found Oriana, and she's fucking OP. So anyway.
Have you pretty much been doing that like every day since you started like a week or two ago?
Yeah, I play at least like 2 games a day now.
Yeah.
So I've been getting back my reflexes, I guess you could say.
Right.
So I feel more confident about smart casting now and stuff like that. So.
What do you think about Dominion now that you're kind of back into the game?
I'm excited for it because it's going to be a completely different game mode, which is awesome. And I think it's going to be nice because of the way that they structured the level, how when you capture a point, that starts generating minions for your team. And so it, in theory, pushes the lanes towards the enemy team faster. At the same time, you got to think about if they're good players and they're able to farm the creep or farm the minions without losing. That's giving them a lot more gold than you're earning. So it's a little bit, it's going to be interesting. I don't know how it's kind of a capture the point thing. So right. I don't know. It's going to be nice. It's going to be a lot more intense, I think. A lot less like on rails and more everywhere.
More about the combat.
Yeah, more about the combat rather than
like
just...
I should say the champion to champion combat rather than the overall strategy.
Yeah, rather than simply pushing over the Nexus, because there's so many games that I've seen videos of where it's like like they're like killing people and stuff like that, and then like one champion pushes over the Nexus, and of course you lose the game because of that, because you lost the Nexus. That's the whole point. And people are like, "Oh God, backdoor! That's such bullcrap." And it's like, yeah, but the objective is to kill the Nexus.
Right.
So we still won. Doesn't matter how many kills you had.
I had a great match earlier. I just want to tell you guys. I was playing as I think Master Yi. That's his name, right?
Yeah,
That's a good character.
And I had gotten the vest that, or the jacket that every 5 minutes you get self-resed after you die.
Guardian
So
Angel.
I was pushing the Nexus, and I had my minions in there, and a champion came up and killed me. And there was probably a quarter left of the Nexus, so I died, and he immediately ran, and I
Ran away.
repopped, and I hit my hit my special, which increases my attack damage and speed, and just mowed it down before he could run back to me.
Nice.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's
So you
awesome.
won the game
Nexus.
for your team.
Yeah, and
That's
awesome. It was great because like 3 of their champions were pushing our Nexus on the other side.
Yeah, so you literally had that feeling of like, oh God, I'm gonna get it.
Like, this is gonna work. Is this gonna work? Really? Yeah, it was great.
That was against
Awesome.
players or AI or what?
It was A versus AI, so it's less impressive.
Okay. No, but that's still awesome though.
That's
It's
still
like,
awesome, though.
Yeah, it was a great moment. It's one of the first kind of moment I've had like that. But with 2 season League of Legend players here, I want to ask a question about specking.
Mhm.
as far
I just hit
as-
the mastery stuff.
Okay.
I just hit level 9, and I'm going pure utility. Is that? I mean, do you guys focus on one tree until you get to a certain level? Do you get enough points to where you can spec in a different tree?
Yeah, 21 or 23, depending on your build, is generally speaking the max you want to put in one tree. But if you're level 9, it's probably a good idea just to put all your points in one tree, especially if it's the utility tree. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
Wait,
I agree.
at what point would I start to branch off when I get 23 in?
If you're playing like an attack damage hero, you'd probably want to put like 21 points into a page. Like like the only build, for example, that I actually do 23 points in one page is a certain support champion or a tank where I just need these 2 specific abilities and I don't need the other 2 points in the other tree, which is why I put 23 in instead of a normal build. But generally speaking, you go like 2109 or some combination of 9 and 21 for the most part.
It's usually 9 in the tree that you want less, 21 in the tree that you want more, and then 0 in some other tree that you don't care about for a particular hero build. So if you're doing an attack damage, depending on who it is, you might go 21 offense and 9 defense, or 9 utility if it's a mana-based hero.
Okay.
Anyway, it has a lot to do with who you're playing,
Like,
and that's why
for
they allow you to
example,
multiple
like my
master
Tarek build is 0, 6, and 23 because I need all the support abilities I can get on him, but I don't really need anything else except for maybe some minor defense pages. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, and for most of the champions that I build, I stick with the 9 in offense for that like magic pen and extra ability power, because a lot of the champions I play have magic damage. And then I do 21 utility because it has like XP, gold regen, mana regen, run speed, all kinds of like reducing the time of my summoner abilities by 15% and stuff like that.
All kinds of goodies.
Yeah.
Though I do have to mention, just because it was hilarious, 2 days ago, me and my Eve buddies, we were deciding, we're just going to get on LoL and have some fun because we've been playing too many serious games and everyone's all pissed off at each other. So we play 5 support champions, Tarek, Soraka,
Yes.
Sona, Janna, and someone else. I can't remember who. But we actually won the game just because we all spammed heal. We literally
Kale?
just healed
Did you have Kale?
ourselves. No, it wasn't Kale. It was someone else. I can't remember who. But we literally just healed ourselves through team fights. And the other team was so mad by the end of the game. It was hilarious. And the best part was we had it recorded. So I actually have a save of it. And I'll probably put it on YouTube or something later. It is an
Nice.
awesome game.
Nice.
Cool.
It has
Like
it might have been Nidalee maybe to heal the other people. Anyway,
I'm trying to think who it was. But sorry, you were going to say something, Steve?
No, I was just saying, Jason, have you ever gone to like mobafire.com and looked at the builds?
No, I haven't.
If you go on there, there's a lot of different various builds for each champion that players have created, and they actually rank them and shit on there. And I usually just go with like one of the top 2, whatever looks more applicable to what my play style is, and I just kind of view what they have as a build and mirror it. I buy the runes that they recommend, and I look at how they build up the talent trees, and that's what I do. So
MOBA Fire.
Another one, MOBA Fire, as in.
Yeah, I just loaded up, and this is the second thing you've introduced me, Steve, to where I see there's live streams here, and you know how many times I watch live streams on Shuriken.com at work. This is gonna bookmark it right there.
You're fucked.
Yeah, MOBA Fire, and also solomid.net is also another good site for that.
Okay.
Solomid is another major website for guides and videos and stuff like that.
What was it?
Solomid.
Okay.
.net.
Oh, it's .net.
.net, bitches.
NETs are the best websites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably got way more information than I could ever process with that question, with these two websites.
Yeah. I use SoloMid a lot for my just general guidelines for characters that I play. I'd be like, I'm gonna try this character, so I'll go to solomid.net real quick. I'd be like, guide, what's the item build? I skip everything else. I'm just like, what's the item build? All right, I get a general idea of how they play. All right.
That's like in MMOs when you post on a thread. Just tell me what to spec in. I don't want bullshit. Just give me a tree with numbers.
If I enjoy the character after that, then I'll read the entire guide, and I'll be like, all right, so let's see what this guy really plays like. Like Oriana, I was like, fuck, she has like a techno ball. It looks kind of cool. All right, let's just like see what she builds. It's like, okay, Rod of Ages, Death Cap, and after that, whatever you want, sweet. And I played her, and I was like, holy shit, this chick is awesome. So then I read the entire guide, and I was like, now I understand.
Yeah, I've been doing the same thing with Vladimir. I kind of got a quick spec on him and ran him, and now I'm like, oh shit, I really like this guy.
Yeah, he's really cool. His like little blood pool where he can like disappear from any skill shot or any damage and stuff like that. I think it's so nice to escape tower damage or. Anyway.
But yeah, League of Legends, live it.
Awesome, sweet.
But let's move on from Rare. What you been playing, Rare?
Been playing a lot of stuff. Eve, From Dust, Hero 6, Dragon Age Legends. I don't know which one I want to talk about. So of those four, what sounds most interesting?
From Dust.
From Dust? Okay.
I know like very little. Actually, let me restate that. I know nothing about From Dust.
Yeah, what the hell is it?
I will try and educate you. So From Dust is it's made by Ubisoft, and essentially what it is have you guys ever played Black and White?
Yes.
God game. Okay, think of Black and White minus having like any army or anything like that, and it's just a focus on nature, but the same general idea of having like god powers and it's like god powers, terraforming, and really, really, really excellent physics all put together in like a giant puzzle.
I don't get like a cow demigod.
No, you don't get like a cow or a wolf that you can like, make fun of and have low self-esteem. No, it's just you and this magic ball. Basically, and then a whole bunch of little people that you try and like help
or kill.
Or kill.
I like killing. Killing is good.
So basically, how the game works is when you first start out, it's like you're on this empty world essentially, and it's kind of like the end of the world, and there's this one little last bastion of people, and then they summon you, and you're just kind of like this little magic ball. And essentially what this ball can do is it can pick stuff up and it can put stuff down. So you can pick up water, you can put water down. You can pick up land, you can put land down. And there's lava, sand, stone, all kinds of stuff. And that's just your very basic version. And then once you finish the first game, as you go, whenever you help the people build a village through certain objectives like bring water here or make grass here, you get a specific power for your ball. Like, for example, one of my favorites is Jellify Water, where for like 2 minutes all the water in the game becomes like a liquid solid. So you can pick it up and move it just like Jello. So you can like completely move all the water out of like say a lake if you need to like get to the bottom of the lake because there's like a treasure there or something like that. And it's essentially just a giant series of puzzles based around terraforming. But it's really, really interesting. It's kind of hard to describe just because, like, for example, there's a map where half of the map is an active volcano and the other half is like a waterfall. So you have to, through a mix and match, you use the magma and the water to like create land bridges or like stop forest fires or I don't know, like like turn sand into stone, all kinds of really cool stuff. It's very hard to describe, but for $14, I can guarantee you it's worth it. Let's put it that way.
Okay. I mean, you said black and white, and I loved black and white, so
I
that's
just
already
kind
got
of
me interested.
I thought of black and white just because it's essentially, a God sort of game.
Right.
There's
God,
no
God with terraforming abilities.
Yeah,
So.
the terraforming and the physics are the two really big parts because the physics of this game is really incredible. The terraforming is absolutely amazing, and that's kind of its key selling point to me. There are a couple issues with the game just because, like, I think it's a little short. There's like challenge maps and they're adding more to the game, but right now I think it's a little bit short, but it's still definitely worth $14.
I was about to
And if
say,
you have
if
any
you still think
questions,
it's
it'd be
worth
easier that way.
$14.
Yeah.
Did you beat
definitely. I think I'm on like the last level of the campaign, and I've done a couple challenge maps. I haven't played it for about a week just because I've been really busy with other stuff, but it's one of those things where I just kind of sat down, and once I started playing it, I really didn't stop playing it until I realized what time it was, just because I got that much into it. It's really, really fun, and they're adding multiplayer, which isn't in yet.
Nice.
I think
The reason
with
I asked,
multiplayer.
I'm
I'm sorry.
sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
The reason I asked about if you had finished it was that was one thing I read was the difficulty gets kind of uneven and frustrating towards the end.
There was one map that took me like 6 hours to beat just because I
Oh,
didn't.
shit.
I didn't figure out how to beat it until like 4 hours in. And I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. Essentially, what it is it's a giant ocean with like 4 little islands, and a whole bunch of villages are underwater. So you need to have your workers build the village and then keep it from being destroyed by like a tsunami. So you have to like gellify water and use your black hole ability to keep the water at bay, and then endless earth to like make land bridges and a little like sand fortress around the city. It was really, really hard, but at the same time I enjoyed it because it was difficult.
So it's kind of like a puzzle where you got to figure out.
All the maps are puzzle maps. Yeah.
See, I picked this up yesterday just because the PC version. That's what you're playing, right? I know you don't have
Yeah,
a 360. And I'm only about 2 missions in, and it's a really good looking game. The water effects and the sand effects look incredible,
Yeah.
especially
it
for
is pretty.
a cheap game.
I was kind of surprised it was only $14. I mean, it is a little short, but at the same time, it's really well made. Like, it's not buggy at all, which is surprising knowing Ubisoft, but it's really well made. I had to put that in
What
there.
a shot!
But $14, if you enjoy terraforming or just, a really cool nature-based game, I definitely recommend picking it up. Especially with multiplayer, because then you can kill your friends with lava, and that'll be entertaining.
Yeah, I might wait and see how the multiplayer is implemented and if that's liked by all. If so, I might try to pick that up sometime.
Sounds good.
Groovy. Move on to Jason. What's up, Jason? What you been playing?
Hey, I've been playing ungodly amounts, and I'm kind of embarrassed to admit this, but Age of Empires Online.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of that game.
I actually had very little desire to play that game, but until I went up and hung out with you guys and saw it running on your computer, and I was like, wow, that actually looks really good.
The art style is amazing. I
love it.
It looks great, and I had never played any of the Age of Empires. I actually bought Age of Empires 3 and the expansions for $1 like a year ago on a Games for Windows Live sale.
Money
Not even
bags.
worth $1.
No, bad.
Age of Empires 2 is so much better, but I'm
Okay.
sorry, continue.
No, I had never played it, and then I just kind of I had it installed on my hard drive. I forgot about it, and I kind of booted it up, and yeah, like that art style is very realistic. Then, right? The other
Yeah.
Age of Empires. Okay.
Age of Empires Online, though, I agree. The stylized art, I actually am a fan of it.
Yeah, I mean, I can see how some people were freaked out by such a departure, but it looks gorgeous. I
It
think,
does.
and it
Runs
probably
really good.
I was gonna say probably runs really well on lots of different machines
Mm-hmm.
because of the art style. But I had some real issues with the pricing scale of that game.
Yeah,
It seems
Yeah.
pretty fucked up.
pretty steep.
Yeah.
I was in the game during its closed beta and like very late alpha, and I'd been wanting to talk about it for a long time, but I just never could because of NDA. But when I was in the testing, we got everything for free, and I was like, oh, this game's awesome. Like, everything's really cool. Combat's pretty fun. I liked how they did questing and multiplayer, but then it finally came out, and it's like, oh, I have to pay a crap ton of money to play with like an Egyptian race and like actually have all the units. And it's like, okay, maybe I'll just like play this every now and then, but I don't know. I just really don't see myself throwing a lot of money at it.
Yeah, so for people who don't know, right now, there are two races available, and you can have a basic version. It's Egyptian and Greece. So you can have basic versions of them, which let you play the missions, but you can't equip like elite items, so purple items. You can pay $20 per race to unlock the ability to have those fancy items and different units. And then they're also offering a season pass, which gives you 1 year of content of everything they have come out. And they also have some some visual stuff that you can put in your capital city. But that season pass is $100. So that gives you a year of everything that's going to come out.
$100.
Now, the problem that I see with it is, and Ray, you can probably speak to it because I don't know if were there only two of both these races in the beta?
Yeah, there was just Greece and then the Egyptians, but you got access to all this, special buildings, additional units, epic items, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, but there's some more races coming out, but you only level up one. Like if you restart a different race, you're starting.
It's like
back
playing
a
a
level.
different character.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know why you would do that because there's going to be slight differences, but functionally, you're probably going to have the same type of units.
Yeah, my honest answer would probably be just they wanted to increase longevity of the game. When you think about it, I mean that's probably why. But it is kind of ridiculous. Like if you have a level 40 Greek town, level 1 Egyptian town, like really? I'm starting all
have more
over?
money.
Yeah. So I have to say I did put $20 down and I got the Greek one, but I'm never buying another race or to further go on. Because I have been enjoying the game a lot, and I'm thinking, okay, I've already put quite a few hours into it. It's
worth your $20.
It's worth $20, yeah. And the actual gameplay, I've never played an Age of Empires game before playing this.
It's not. I wouldn't say that it's a lot like Age of Empires. I mean,
okay, I have no idea.
I'd say it's pretty similar to Age of Empires 2.
Well,
do you disagree?
I guess I'm talking more of the. How should I put this? The format. Like the actual play is similar, but the quest system.
Oh, you mean like the
that.
MMO aspect of the game?
Yeah, it's like they took Age of Empires and then like based your actions in the game around quests like you would be playing an MMO.
I think that's pretty well done. The way they do.
No. I don't disagree with that. I think it's fantastically done, but it feels a little bit different from. I guess my only gripe with it, and I haven't played a ton of it, but how should I put it? because of the departure. I love the departure of the graphics and such, but I don't like the departure of it becoming a like microtransactional sort of game. I think that's fair. I would prefer it be a new Age of Empires game, even with the graphics difference. I would prefer to go throw down $50 and have a full-blown Age of Empires game.
Oh, I agree with that. If Age of Empires came out, a modern one looking like this, and that it plays this way, I would have paid $50 for full game.
Yeah,
but it's a lot of fun.
Because I enjoy it very casually, but I don't see myself putting any money into it. Unless, is there like a Norse?
I think Celtics are going to be the third. That's what I'm kind of guessing is going to happen.
If they throw the Vikings in there or the Norse gods, then I might be tempted. But
that would be the one that I would
play. Because that's my thing.
Now.
What's that?
The Norse would be my thing too.
See, and that's probably one I would like. Oh, okay, maybe I'll try that because that sounds interesting. But right now, I mean, it's free. Check it out if you're at all interested. It's
definitely worth. It's definitely worth the price of admission.
All
right. Then I guess it's me. And I know John already kind of spoke on it, but Deus Ex is what I wanted to talk about. Because, how should I put this? 2 nights ago, I did not like the game. And now I love it.
Okay, so let's go back to 2 nights ago.
2 nights ago, I was only an hour.
You had a shit real bad. You kind of were sweating. You didn't feel good.
Yeah. I was between an hour and 2 hours into the game. I liked the presentation. I loved the look of the game. I liked the presentation. The voice acting was kind of
yeah.
And some of the graphics were weird. I like the like facial animations with talking to people was very like felt like it was an older game, which I think people coming from the original Deus Ex would not mind. But beyond that, just the gameplay, like I can overlook that stuff pretty easily. The gameplay I was not in love with. I went in thinking and hearing people saying, "Well, there's a lot of stealth work to it," and I really try to be very stealthy about stuff, and I was hating it. I was really, really not liking it.
You felt like you had to play it a certain way?
I felt like I had to play it. I was trying too hard. I was really, what it came down to it, what I kind of figured out last night, is I was trying too hard to be stealthy.
Yeah.
And I was trying to play it like Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah. One of the best quotes I've heard about this game, I can't remember if it was on the Bombcast or if it was just a video thing. Jeff Gerstmann was saying actually I think it was during a live stream. He said, "Don't try to be perfectionist. The best advice you could give is if you're trying to be stealthy and shit happens, just keep playing. Don't reload." And I stopped doing that early on, and I enjoyed it a lot more.
That's exactly it. And because one of my gripes was I was trying so hard to be stealthy, and it wasn't like I was fucking up when doing it. It just felt like how should I put this? I was being stealthy and I was being very careful, but even when I slipped up, a lot of times, like my positioning around boxes and stuff, I'm looking at where I am and looking at where the other guy is and going, that motherfucker should see me plain as day. It's like the AI is blind as shit. There's no way that he cannot see me, but because it's the way they designed the game, he doesn't see me. It's like, okay, I overlook that, but it's like when you do fuck up, they become marksmen. And it's like if you are out in the open when you fuck up, it's like, oh shit, they're hitting you every shot. I mean, you really have to be sure you're taking cover and shit. There was just that like fine line that I was crossing. I was trying to like not kill people and shoot them with stun darts and shit and like just quiet like takedowns, and it just was not working for me. But then it's like I kind of like got on Google Plus and threw out my gripe about it, and then that night, which was last night, I jumped back on and said, okay, fuck it, I'm going to continue on the same game that I have saved. I'm going to find a gun off of one of these people that I take down and just start blasting people, but I'm still going to try to be a little bit stealthy about it, a little bit smart about it, and it totally changed my perspective of the game. The action feels more fun than it did, even though I still think like the aiming isn't fantastic. It's still kind of janky compared to other first-person shooters.
Yeah, it's kind of like spongy.
Yeah, but it's better than.
There are augments that you get that help with it, so I think they did that.
I just got the red dot sight for I attached it to my pistol, and I increased like the power from the pistol, so that's already like kind of taking care of itself. But I still like. Before I get back into gripe mode, let me say the combat mostly is like now fantastic to me. I can concentrate more on the story and the RPG elements. I'm not like that part is like behind me. It's an afterthought to what the game really is, and it is a fantastic RPG. I'm starting to see more people like, even though I don't like the main protagonist's voiceover, I don't like the voice, but I have found that it works well from both standpoints. Either way you want to play the character, if you want to be Mr. Badass, it sounds okay, and if you want to be Mr. Nice Guy, it still sounds okay. And I think if they would have, most people's voice that they would have used would have sounded bad one way or the other. And I think when I thought about it today, I had a conversation with somebody. I was kind of being mean to him at first, but then I turned into a nice guy, and I did notice that the voiceover actually worked well in both situations. I still don't like that the guy's trying to sound like Batman, but anyways,
he's trying to hide his identity.
Yeah. But he tells everybody who he is. But yeah, the RPG elements, your augments, all that stuff is just like, I'm blown away by it now. I'm fucking loving it.
See, that's cool though. I mean, they designed it a way to where you can play it the way that you enjoy it, and that obviously is the way you enjoy playing this game. I'm the opposite.
Yeah, the problem was it was taking me a while to kind of find the way I needed to play it to enjoy it. But now that I have, I am digging it so much. But you
All right,
like
can I
the
ask you
stealthy
a
stuff.
question?
What's up?
Can you describe how the game plays to a guy who's never played any Deus Ex game ever?
I don't know, maybe Jason can say if this is an accurate description. And, well, Rare, you've probably never played Crysis 2, have you?
No, but I've seen my fair share of Crysis 2.
Okay.
I've just never played it myself.
I was thinking last
He's
night,
been around the block. Come on, Steve.
I'm just, because there's a certain feeling that you get playing that I was thinking last night. I was like, if you were to draw a line diagram and put Crysis 2 on one end and Fallout 3 on the other,
Okay, that puts it more into perspective.
Deus Ex would be in the middle somewhere.
Okay.
Jason, would you disagree or agree with that, or?
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. It's it gives you choices kind of like Crysis does, but well,
The combat's, I think, like, the combat isn't as good as Crysis 2,
no.
but it's not as bad as Fallout 3. There's more RPG elements in it, but I'd say there's more RPG elements like Fallout 3 than there is versus Crysis 2. But then you also have a little smattering of like a Mass Effect style of a dialogue system that you can make choices in.
It's Cryce out.
It's Cryce out.
Price out. Yeah. No, that's a
Okay.
good explanation. That's
So, if I've never played any of the games, I heard the game is a prequel. So could I pick it up and know what's going on, or am I going to be totally lost?
Yeah, don't worry about playing. I wouldn't say worry about playing the original Deus Ex, but
no. The original Deus Ex is not. It has not required at all in any way to playing
this
this
tells
one.
a very good story, and that's the one thing that I think that's really grabbing me more than anything is the overall story is very intriguing. I'm not, like I said, I'm only probably 4 or 5 hours into it. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But the overall story is intriguing. I am just at the cusp of it. But then even like the side stories, like in Mass Effect, you would go and do some side story stuff, and they would be kind of interesting. I am much more intrigued by the side stories in Deus Ex than I ever was in Mass Effects.
Okay, that's saying a lot.
Yeah, the side stories are good.
Yeah, and well, it's not just that they're good, but it's just they're very well written, in the fact that, like, not specifically, but as an example, I had one where I was told to go get something from another person, and it seemed like it was some really shitty illegal stuff going on, but I wasn't told everything on the onset, but I kind of just went along with it because from the story, or not from the story, but from the way the characters interacted, you could tell that they had a history. So I went ahead with it, and I went to deal with it, and then I found it kind of like turned around halfway through that, well, this stuff that they're kind of doing illegally, they're doing for a very good purpose.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it was like totally changed my outlook on it, because at first I wasn't even going to take it, but then I kind of went, okay, and I went with it. And then how that whole thing unveiled was fantastic. I just loved the way that was written. And that was just like some stupid little side story. I was like, that's great.
And that was one that really reinforced to me that mission about how much I like the dialogue system in this game.
Yes.
It's there's obvious comparisons to Mass Effect, and I kind of like this one a little bit more because you have to observe more. You actually, and you kind of think of L.A. Noire when you do this
that's
too.
exactly what I was going to say. I don't want to say that it's like L.A. Noire because they did a lot of other shit in that game.
But this suffered less from what we talked about before. L.A. Noire was a lot of guesswork. Here,
Yes,
if you
exactly.
pay careful attention, you can know the right answer.
Exactly. And the one thing that it does, and this is something that I thought that I liked about Mass Effect, but now playing this I realize I do not like about Mass Effect, is in Mass Effect you make a decision, you make a dialogue choice based on something that it says, but then Shepard's response is totally not what it says there, but it's along those same lines, and then they do a good job of giving you a synopsis but he explains it differently in his actual dialogue. In this, you make a choice, and it says what you're going to say, and it's pretty much exactly the first couple things that you say in your dialogue. He will then expand on it when he talks to the guy in the game, but it's pretty much exactly says what he's going to say, and I think that makes a big difference.
No, yeah, I kind of agree with that because I thought of that before. I like how, yeah, it's the intention, but then the conversation goes. You don't know how the conversation goes, but it's based off your intention.
Yeah. There's other times, I have a lot more game to experience to see if I like this or not, but there's been a couple times so far on a negative end of the dialogue that Jensen, the main character, you will go in and start talking to someone. You have no input on the conversation so far. You'll just automatically start talking to them as a part of the story. And the way he reacts kind of defines, it seems like it's trying to define how you should be continuing the conversation, even though it's going to start giving you choices on how to react to it. And sometimes he reacts in ways that, like me as a character playing the RPG, quote unquote, I would not probably have said. Like that's not, he says things in more of a badassery tone than I probably would have.
And I think that's because they don't have the Paragon Renegade defining. You don't have light and dark points when you answer, so
right.
You're still that character. You can kind of massage the way he says things to people, but it's not going to affect. You're not going to have the evil choice off the bat, or set up kind of like your character would in a BioWare game.
Yeah. Because I know there was like one today when I went up and started talking to some guy, and I'm thinking, as like I haven't even made a dialogue choice yet, but my guy's talking, and I'm like, dude, whoa, stop being such a douche.
Yeah, that's happened to me already.
Have you gotten any boss battles yet?
I have not.
Okay, because that's the main gripe of the game.
That's what I'm. Yeah, probably by next week I will have had one or two of those, and I know. I think it was yesterday. I think yesterday I started finally listening to podcasts that were talking about the game, and that's been like the big negative on it so far, is that the boss battles that totally take you away from what that game is. But I don't know.
Yeah, they do, and
well,
I didn't
because
really,
there's in the other games you could do an absolutely no combat version of the game. Yeah. In this game, the boss battles force you into combat one way or another, and people really don't like that.
Yeah. There's an achievement even for not killing anyone in the game, but it even says, besides bosses, because you have to fight.
Which is so weird.
And I didn't really have an issue with it after like the first boss fight and even further in the game. Now I'm at a point, actually, right before we started recording, that I've replayed one probably 10 times, and I'm spec'd as a stealther, because that's the way I enjoy the game, and it sucks. Like, I'm probably going to have to go look and see what other people have done, and that really stinks because I haven't done that at all in this game. And I've even taken the tone or the viewpoint that I'm just going to play, and if I've really been able to stealth through a lot of things, but the few times that shit's hit the fan, I've really enjoyed, playing that way, but I didn't spec combat really at all. So I don't know what I'm going to do.
I guess the one thing that's been brought up about it, and I don't know if Jason, if you've run into this yet, but I've already ran into it once, that I've pretty much spent all my praxis points, which are, for those of you who haven't played the game yet, they are the points that you spend to upgrade your augmentations. The one gripe that I've been hearing, and I agree with, is that there's so many options with your augmentations that you will occasionally run into a situation where you don't have anything, or you don't have the skills needed to do something for like a side mission. Now again, you don't have to be doing that side mission, but while you're there you kind of want to do it. But that you don't have the skills to be able to really complete it the way you want, and you don't have any points to upgrade. So I know one person said that they were constantly saving a few points just in case, and it's one thing I kind of find as a big negative, that they don't kind of, the game's pretty open, but at the same time that's a bad thing that they don't tailor it more, that okay, you can there's other ways to get around this.
There was only one time I had that issue, and that was really early on in the game in one of the side missions in Detroit, which I'm so glad they have Detroit in the game. That's cool.
Oh yeah, they really made the place look nice.
I know, it's a shithole. I was there this morning in real life. But no, they actually did some research. Those are a lot of real streets and everything. But
when I first got into the streets, I looked up and I saw the GM building. I was like, huh, look.
Yeah, that's neat. But No, there's only one incident I had that real early on in the game, and after that, I never felt like I couldn't do a mission. And it was one real early where I was able to get a point and go back and do it before I left the city for the next major mission. But after that, it's only up until like this boss battle that I'm in right now that I can see there are strategies that I could use in the area I'm in that like, wow, I wish I had spec'd in this. But for side missions and like access to things, it hasn't been an issue.
That's cool.
I'm like maxed out in hacking, which really helps in most times.
That's been my one, is that I haven't upgraded any of my hacking yet, but instead I have spent points on to get cloak.
Yeah.
And
I went hacking first, then went cloak.
Yeah, I should have done that as well, because now I'm at a point where it's like if I had one more skill point in hacking, I could probably just do this, but I can't. So I'm kind of like
there's so much
doing
cover in the game that you can move around without cloak if you really try, and then
yeah. But I wanted that. That's like the one thing is like I want to be my ideal is to be able to move around an area in cloak, take out some people quietly, and then if I get into a situation with a few people, I'll just start opening fire on them.
And I wouldn't really have issue with that because in this type of game where choice is emphasized so much, how do you design it to where you make people feel like they're not missing part of the game?
Right.
By their choices. The issue I have is when you force people to do things like these boss fights, and they're clearly designed for you to spec in a certain way.
Right.
Then that's the issue. If I'm all stealth, and if there was something that I felt like, and there was before, I didn't have punch wall till just recently, where you can one of your augments is you can, if you find a weak spot in a wall, you can just knock it down. I just got that recently, and there was a bunch of stuff I missed before, but. That's the path I took. I don't really have issue with that.
Right. But speaking of punching through a wall, before we jump off of this, I do have to say that one of the side missions that I am currently on, I am in a police precinct, and while I was crawling around the ductwork, I happened to go by one of the guy's offices, and he was talking to another officer, and the guy was describing a scene.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
He was describing RoboCop, basically.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was because he was saying it without saying what movie it was, and it was fantastic. He was like, it's the guy that's a cyborg. He's like, you should know about it. It was based in Detroit.
Yeah, they're putting up a statue in Detroit of RoboCop.
I know. I want to visit just for that, but I don't want to visit.
We'll take you up there.
That's awesome. I can have my RoboCop hat on.
It's only like
t-shirt.
20 minutes from here.
Oh yeah, that's true. I'll be so excited. I'll be like a little kid. Well, all right. That's what we've been playing, and really no news that we want to cover this week. We'll just get right into last week's question. And if you don't remember, because it was 3 damn weeks ago, it was what game that never got a sequel would you like to see either remade and modernized, or have a sequel finally created for it? We did have one email. And since he's here, I'll just let him answer it. Rare.
Oh. I didn't realize it was mine.
You were the only email. You remember what it was?
I believe my email was either requesting a Rogue Galaxy 2 or a Dark Cloud 3. Either of the two. They're both made by the same company. It's Level 5 Entertainment. And they both kind of just disappeared off the face of the earth.
Oh, Rare. Rare.
What?
I think you misunderstand the question.
Okay, Rogue Galaxy 2, that is technically a sequel, sir. So you can go shove it up your you-know-what.
He wants a Rogue Galaxy 2.
I would love Rogue Galaxy 2.
I thought you meant...
3 would be better.
I thought you meant that there was a Rogue Galaxy 2.
No, there's not. I would love if there was. I would love if there was one. Rogue Galaxy is a fantastic game.
JK.
Gotcha. Well, that sounds fantastic. I've never played that. It actually looked pretty good, though.
Yeah,
it's kind of like... Okay, well, first of all, have you played Dark Cloud at all?
Nope.
Okay. Imagine a open world for the most part, but then when you go into dungeons, it's like instance dungeon, RPG with pirates in space, and like medieval weaponry, and at the same time robots. It's not even steampunk, and it's not like future tech. It's really hard to explain. It's a fantastic game. The story is really well made. I just can't really describe it to you. It's one of those things you just kind of have to play.
Right.
Excellent game. That's on the PlayStation 2. I wish it was on the PC, then I'd be playing it right now.
I actually don't have a PS2 anymore, damn it. That sucks. Anyways. Well, awesome.
Why don't you just get a... Never mind.
Get a what?
Emulator.
No. Don't do that. All these systems. Anyways. I was dumb and I forgot to actually ask this on Twitter. And so, yeah, sorry. Sorry, Twitter people. We'll get you next week. But we still love you. We still love you, Twitter. I love you so much. But we did get a lot of responses from Google Plus, as per usual. Fantastic place for a conversation, apparently. And from Chris, we got quickly. He just says Syndicate.
I never played Syndicate.
I did, and when I first got a computer, which was like way later than Syndicate was actually already out. But I went through this phase of going back and playing all these old games that everybody said was awesome, and it was pretty fun, but I think it was past earlier than my time. It was one of those things that nostalgia only hits you if you were actually had played it. So,
right.
But yeah, Michael put on there he wants a sequel to Master of Magic.
I never played that. I've never even heard of that.
I've heard of it, but I've never played it.
PC game, I assume.
I think so. And this one I have to totally agree with. Brenda put on there. She wants a sequel to Seaman.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
I love Seaman.
Seaman, yeah, I keep on saying Seaman, but it's Seaman. But I did respond to her that I think the only way that I could play a sequel to that is if it had Leonard Nimoy come back to do the narration.
Wasn't there word that they were going to do that?
I don't know.
I thought I heard a year or so ago that it might be a Kinect game.
I'd buy it. It might be good reason to dust off my Kinect.
I might have dreamt that.
I hope it happens because Seaman was a fantastic experiment, if anything, and I loved it.
He was such a dick. He was great.
Yeah, I loved it. Because the one thing that I will remember always from that game is, I don't know if I did it to you too, but when he starts to talk to you, and he starts to learn your name and shit, he will ask you for your birthday at one point, or it'll look at what your birthday is, and it'll tell you who what famous people were born on your birthday.
Yeah, he did. Do you know who the only famous person born on my birthday is?
No.
Macaulay Culkin. Yeah.
Mine was Bruce Willis. Somebody else, some woman actor, and I cannot remember her name, and Wyatt Earp.
She sounds hot.
I think she is. I can't remember. But anyways, let's move back to the list. Nicholas from Google Plus put on that he wanted a Star Raiders sequel.
I don't know what that is.
All these people have these games I've never heard of. Spencer Williams from Dead Workers Party says he wants a Call of Duty sequel. Seems like it could have taken off if only they had given it a chance.
Just didn't sell.
I know, right? But then he put, seriously, he would like to see another Vagrant story.
I never played that either.
I played a little bit of that back when I still
Do you know what Square game I'm ashamed that I've beat 5 times?
I'm trying to think. What would it be? Einhander.
No.
Oh.
The Bouncer. That was a early PS2 game.
I remember the name.
It was super short, and I remember when I got my PS2 was one of the only games out. It came out not long after it launched.
I had a few Square imports and because I was in a phase for a while with my PS1 that I had a lot of imports and weird shit, and one of the games on there was a Square game. It was actually the speaking of Square fighters, Tabal #2. It's a fantastic fighter, but I had no fucking clue what I was doing anytime that I was playing it. It was back in the day, it was a 3D fighter, and it was the most beautiful 3D fighter that I had ever seen. And it was it always amazed me that they could actually have those graphics on the PS1. But yeah,
never heard of it.
It was really, really weird to play. But anyways, I digress. Then actually, Spencer also noted that he would like more Planescape Torment.
Yes.
I did play that, and that was a good game. That was fantastic. Fantastic RPG. Then Pete Smith from Dragon Chasers put on there that he would love Populous, another Populous game.
Yeah.
And let's see what else we got here. Dusty put on Mirror's Edge.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I figured that Jason would like that one.
Well, they said they're making one, but they keep talking weird about it. They have a
Yeah.
small team and they're experimenting with what they're doing, so who knows if that's real thing or not.
All right.
They're gonna break the third dimension. 4D Mirror's Edge.
I want
Guaranteed.
to smell her while she runs.
You are the
I
mirror.
want to smell Faith.
All right. Just anyways.
What happened?
Larry put on here that he would like an Eternal Darkness sequel.
Yeah.
He put on best sight game I've ever played. Unfortunately, it was on the GameCube, so doubt we'll ever see a sequel.
Yeah, that game was great. Way of mess with you.
Mm-hmm. I've never played it.
It did weird things like you had a sanity meter because it was a really trippy story, and if the lower your insanity meter went, the more the game could mess with you. So it would like just cut out audio to make you think like, oh, like your TV's messing up, or it would do the blue screen of death on you for like 10 seconds, or it would be like a really long time to where there was one I remember like specifically like getting up to reset my GameCube, and then it popped back into the game.
Whoa.
It's pretty
That's
cool.
kind of crazy. That sounds interesting. That's actually
Yeah,
pretty
the
interesting.
gameplay was really cool too.
Awesome. Paul on there put on that he would like a sequel to Sid Meier's Pirates. And he said it would be nice to have a sequel to that game that had a co-op play or versus. I have to agree with that. I would love to see a Pirates game with multiplayer. Or I should say specifically a Sid Meier's Pirates multiplayer.
That's I bought that on a PC a while ago, and it's one I've tried a couple times, but I don't know if that game's pretty complicated, isn't it?
No.
No, I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
I didn't think that it was very well, it
I
got
had
to
a
a
hard
point.
time getting into it.
Yeah. I didn't think it was that bad, but it got to a point where I like towards the end where I was kind of getting bored because I had tons and tons of money and kind of did whatever I wanted, and it was getting too easy. Ooh. Scott on there put that he would like a sequel to Eidolon, and I've never heard of that game.
Sounds made up.
And then he put, and perhaps Rescue on Fractalis.
That's made up.
Never heard of that game, but great. Heard that's getting made, dude. Victor put on there he would love a sequel to Azure Dreams. It was made by Konami for the PlayStation 1. He says there's technically a sequel, but it's not called Azure Dreams. And he also stated that he would like a Azure Dreams. He would just like Azure Dreams to be remade. So, and he actually put a link on here to the game, so we'll have to check that out. Matt put on here that sorry that he's going the sim route, but he'd love a new A10 flight sim. He says after the dynamics, when people had hope for Electronic Arts and Jane's, but alas, nothing. And I will say, I remember when I worked at the video game store that, man, the Jane's like flight sim games, I used to love just like looking at the books because they were basically like manuals from a plane. It was nuts. So cool. Rog on here put that he would love a sequel to Powermonger. And I've never heard of that game. I'm too young of a PC player, I guess. But let's see. Joseph on here was Freelancer, and I did play Freelancer, and that was awesome. I would love a sequel to that. Pete Smith came back for another one. He put Sierra's Red Baron.
Oh yeah. There wasn't a sequel to that?
I guess not. I don't remember.
It must not be.
And last, I got two more. Richard put on here that he really loved Advent Rising, and he would love another one to be made.
I never played that. Had a lot of hype.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I've heard, it kind of seems like the hype was too much. But it was actually a pretty decent game.
Oh, that's cool.
It's supposed to be a trilogy.
Well, speaking of hype monsters, the last one that we had, Jason, not this Jason, another Jason, put Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
There will. I mean,
yeah.
Gearbox will make one.
Yeah.
And I'll be interested to see what they do from the ground up.
Yeah.
Because they don't make, real bad. They make good games, so
Mhm.
it'd be interesting to see.
Yep.
Oh, I've got a couple.
Yeah. Let's do it.
First, TNC Surf Design for the NES.
Shit. Oh my
Ever play
God. Yeah.
That was a great game.
Surf and turf.
Yeah, I want that. And also, they were making a sequel till the lead voice actor died, but I would love another Full Throttle.
Oh yeah.
yes.
They were making that. Did you ever see the videos that they showed of the
Yeah.
game while it was in progress? It looked fantastic.
Yeah, I love that game.
But do you have any other ones?
No, not that I can think of.
John, do you have any games that you'd like to see a sequel for?
Well, hold on, besides Road Rash, but
Yeah, well, besides that, not that there hasn't already been a bunch, but I would love to see another new MechWarrior.
Right, that's true.
Isn't there one coming out?
Well, they had that teaser trailer come out for the one, but I've not heard or seen anything since.
Well, there was some clarification that they're not. They haven't had any news, so they had a recent small, tiny announcement that basically said it's not because we're having legal trouble. We're just figuring out how we're going to do the game and whatever. So, they're like, we're still working on it, but I guess they got held up by something, but they don't want to say what.
Mm-hmm. I had a hard time with this because I figured everybody on here would have been shouting Dark Age of Camelot, but
Dark Age of Camelot would be my number one, but
didn't we say that in the last podcast?
Did we shout that right before the end?
I shouted it at the end of the last one.
Okay.
That's why I didn't kind of.
Yeah.
Well, besides that, I really had a hard time with it because most of the games that I really enjoyed did end up getting sequelized, and then there's certain ones that, like, my favorite of all time is Food Fight, but I would not want a sequel for it because what would you sequelize about it? It's perfect. Anywho, the only one that popped up is actually because I went out. I was having a discussion with someone on Twitter about train games. I brought up that Railworks 2 is a game that my son likes to watch me play. Excuse me. He's a train fanatic, and then as I was talking to somebody, he brought up Railroad Tycoon 2 about how his son wants to have him install it, and I was like, wait, I have another train game. What the fuck was that? And I ran into the garage, and it was actually Sid Meier's game called Railroads. But and that's not the one that I want remade. It actually still plays fantastic, by the way. I've been playing some of that with my kid. But the one that I saw when I was out in the garage, and I have like a box full of old PC games that I just keep around just in case. And I pulled one out that was right next to Railroads, and I was like, holy shit, they never made a fucking sequel to this, and I would love it. It was one called The Movies.
Oh, yeah, that was the Peter Molyneux game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, you create a movie theater like based back in the 1930s or 40s or whenever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved that
they had
game.
an expansion, but they never had a sequel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I loved that game. I was like,
Yeah.
man, I'm going to have to boot this back up and play it because it was a fantastic game. It was kind of like playing a Sims game, but in the movie theater, and it was great. I just loved it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I would love to see a sequel for that. But, yeah. That's really the only one that I could think of. Or maybe a new, well, I guess not. Never mind. I'll skip that. I'll edit that out. That's it.
What were you going to say?
No, never mind, because I think didn't Shenmue already get a sequel?
Yeah, there's Shenmue too.
Because I said it and I was like, wait.
I said Road Rash, and that had a sequel.
Yeah,
I was just saying,
had like 4 of those.
Saying I want another one.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You had said that, and then I realized the video that I was talking about was from the closed Road Rash. 'Cause there was some in-game video of a Road Rash that they were making.
Oh yeah.
And then got canceled.
But there was a lot of concept stuff from the Full Throttle.
Yeah, there was that,
understand.
but the video that I was thinking of was actually from Road Rash. That was badass looking. But all right, and then next week's question. Well, I guess that's it. But before we go, next week's question. Kind of what would you want again? And game adaptations of new hit movies are rarely worth playing. I mean, there's like a lot of the superhero ones come out. The Tron one came out, and I heard that it was, and I heard like there's been movie-based games in the past that have been god-awful. I can't remember any that have really been good. I guess if you think that it could possibly be good, what movie would you like to see a video game version for, and what genre would it be?
Of new hit movies.
It doesn't have to be new.
Oh, it doesn't? Okay.
No, it does not have to be a new hit movie. I use
okay.
I use those as examples. Like there's a lot of like blockbuster movies will have a video game made pretty standardly, but I mean even think outside of the big hit blockbuster action films. Any game, what genre would it be based on a movie? So, let us know. Email us.
I got a good one.
Do you got one? Good one?
Yeah.
Save it for next week.
I will.
But yeah, email us at multiplaying@gmail.com. I'll also be asking the question on our forums and on G+ and Twitter. So look for it mid next week on those if you want to respond. And until then, good night.
Well, gentlemen, no point in hanging around this dump any longer.
Wait! Where are you going? I was going to make espresso.
Show's over, folks.
You can't go! All the plants are going to die. Take off, eh?
Thanks for listening to Multiplaying, the companion podcast at multiplaying.net. Questions, comments, feedback, errors, etc. can be sent to multiplaying@gmail.com. We invite you to write a review on iTunes and visit our website at www.multiplaying.net.
We've made a lot of friends, shared a lot of laughs, often at the expense of others.
I think some people are going to be upset.
Let me just close this conversation by saying you are one unique individual.
Thank you and good night.